been making YouTube videos for about 4 years now, which is still mind-boggling for me to think about. I posted my first YouTube video back in May of 2009 on another channel. Obviously, I've only been in the booktube book reviewer community for a little under a year and a half, but I had a previous channel that was completely unbook related. And in those 4 years, I think I picked up on some pretty good pieces of advice and some tips, and obviously I'm going to be talking about this in terms of booktube, but this is completely applicable for people who make non-book related videos. And obviously anybody who's watching this who makes videos, if you can think of any other advice and tips, go ahead and comment them down below. Now we're going to start off with that kind of vague advice you hear in most of these types of videos, but the reason you guys probably hear this advice so often is because it is just the best. And then I will get into some more specific actual tips for how to make videos and how to get people to actually see your videos. Main advice I would give, and I think most people tend to give, is just to simply be yourself, go into it for the right reasons, just be having fun and understand that overall it's a learning process, and no matter how much you prepare, you're going to go back and look at your first video and just cringe. So because this is advice for booktubers, I don't even think I need to actually talk about going into this for the right reasons. Let's be honest, we're still a pretty small community as much as it has been growing recently, and I think you'd have to be a complete idiot to be going into this thinking you're going to be making a ton of money out of this. But in a way, I think that's quite good because it shows people are doing this just genuinely because they love books and want to interact and talk about it. And I know a lot of people tend to just say be yourself in these types of videos, but I kind of want to expand on that a little bit more. A lot of the main videos that you see in booktube are book tags, book reviews, book hauls, and book discussion videos. If for some reason you hate book hauls and you really despise filming book review videos, you can have a channel that is solely book tags and book discussion videos. I think that's great. Don't feel the need to mold your channel around just specifically what else you're seeing. Or for instance, don't feel the need to act in front of the camera the way you see other booktubers acting. For instance, one of my favorite YouTubers is Ariel Bissett, and you can just tell naturally she's a very energetic, excitable person. Her personality is just really enigmatic, and the second you watch her videos, you just know you're gonna get really excited as well. And I think that's fantastic, and you can just tell that that's genuinely the way Ariel is as a person. But just because you see that and really enjoy it doesn't mean that you need to change yourself and act that way in front of the camera as well. For instance, I don't know if you guys have picked up on this, but I'm kind of a low energy kind of gal, and that's fine. I've accepted that. It's just the way that I am, and I kind of despise the phrase be yourself, and I wish there was another way to say it because it just sounds so cheesy. It is just very true, and just overall have fun and try not to be too nervous. I think in comparison to a lot of other really big communities, because booktube is quite small, one of the other good aspects about it is that I think in general there isn't as much hate here because we are smaller, and I think because we're all here for the right reasons. We're just a really welcoming community who's just really interested in having more people join us. So no matter how scary it might be for you, just try not to be too anxious and nervous. I think we're all very, very nice. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about some actual tips for making videos, and one thing I hear reiterated a lot in advice videos like this, people always tend to say it's better to have 5 subscribers actively watching your videos than 1,000 where none of them are watching. And I understand the sentiment behind that advice. I think it might make people feel quite bad who have been posting videos for months on end and nobody's commenting and interacting, and I understand it can be quite disheartening, so I thought I would just give some tips. But I don't want this to come across as just subscribers are important, this is how to get subscribers. But sometimes I come across channels that I think are so fantastic, I've happened to click on their video, and then I notice that they have like 2 subscribers. I just want to give them these tips because I think if you change and tweak a couple of things, it makes people a lot more likely to click on your channel in the first place. So the number 1 tip I would give are about thumbnails, because the content inside your video could be so fantastic. It could be the best content in all of booktube. If you're new to YouTube and nobody knows you and your thumbnail is just you like this, they can't see your face, you're in a dark room. As someone, say, typing something into YouTube and your video pops up among all of the other ones in the list, people have a short attention span, and as they're scrolling through, they're gonna be a lot less likely to click on that video. Some examples of people who do this really well are The Readables and Little Book Owl. They just have those type of thumbnails where when you're looking through YouTube, they just really catch your eye right away. And you don't need to download nice software to do this. I'm not sure if you can do custom thumbnails if you're not partner. I think YouTube has actually changed it so you can. And again, I am not trying to say at all that thumbnails are even close to being as important as what's actually inside the video, but that's just an important aspect, I think, to having people click on your videos in the first place. And Some other things in terms of having people come across your channel, I would not recommend commenting on people's videos and just simply saying, come check out my channel. I know some people differ on this, some people think it's completely fine. I would recommend there are just other ways to going about that without just spamming people's channels. Now, the main advice I was gonna give was video responses, but fucking YouTube, of course, took that away from us. I think video responses were great. That's one thing I did a lot when I first started out on BookTube. One other thing I think you can do is eLizzie Books is a fantastic resource. I'll link her channel down below, and she does something called BookTube Noobs, where people send in short clips of themselves and introduce themselves to BookTube, or they just message her saying, hey, I'm new, and she mentions them in a video. I think that's a fantastic resource, and I would say a fourth of the booktubers I've watched are ones that I've simply heard her mention in those videos. I also think that instead of just spamming videos and commenting and simply saying, check out my channel, and it's obvious that you haven't even watched that person's video, just interact in YouTube. But obviously only do it if you want to. I would think if you make YouTube videos, you would want to interact with other people. Don't comment on people's videos and comment about their videos simply so that they'll go check out your channel. But I think, for instance, some of my favorite YouTubers are Luke Lane Reads and Adultish Books, and I'm pretty sure I came across them simply because they commented on my videos sometimes, and I noticed that their YouTube usernames and obviously their little thumbnail photo thing were both book related, and I realized, they probably have a book channel, so I clicked on it. I also want to emphasize that you do not need to go out and buy an HD camera. I think lighting is actually so much more important than picture quality. Because if you're in just a dark room and you're sitting really far away from the camera and people can barely see you, even if your content is great, it's just gonna be hard for people to focus on your videos. So I just use a point and shoot camera that happens to shoot in HD. I got it for a really good deal. It's slowly dying, which is really upsetting because I got mine refurbished. I'll put the information about it from the Sony website. So it was, I think, $100 something, maybe $180. I went on Amazon when I was freaking out realizing this camera is dying, and it's $489. I know I could probably get it used, but that makes me nervous because it wouldn't come with a warranty. But anyway, the last thing you need to do is rush out and buy a nice DSLR $500, $600 camera. They make fantastic point and shoot these days, and if you want it in HD, there are tons out there that are under $200. Again, I'm just giving these tips not because subscribers are extremely important, but there are a lot of wonderful channels I've come across, and I've just thought to myself, and they have just so many less subscribers than they deserve, and I think if they just did these little things and a lot, then people in general just be more likely to come across their channel in the first place. So I think that's all of the advice and tips I would want to give. Make sure to put anything else you can think of down below. I definitely think people should just come on and enjoy themselves and have fun. But I think that's it, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.